Hello, everyone. I'm so excited you could join us today. My name is Kim Clark. I am an extension dairy educator at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. So I'm going to share with you today a day in the life of me and a day in the life of those involved in the dairy industry. So I'll give you a good overview of the careers that we have within the industry. So, as I mentioned, I'm an extension educator at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, but before I started in my role, I had to take some college courses. So, I started out earning a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in 2006. And after that, I liked Lincoln so much, I stayed there and completed a Master of Agriculture degree, which is now known as the Master of Applied Science degree from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. During my master's degree, I focused on dairy science and ag economics for my areas of focus, but I also opted to do a minor in agriculture communications. Why would I choose a minor, you ask? Well, I've always had a passion and interest in extension education and knew that communication was a large part of what extension educators do. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to advance my knowledge, skills, and expertise. And so I earned a minor in ag communications. I started out my role in extension in 2015, so I've been in my role for about 5 years. Prior to working at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I worked for the Nebraska Corn Checkoff Board, where I focused on renewable fuels. So I'm going to give you a day in the life of me, but better yet, let's look more at what I do every day in a year. So first and foremost, I'm an educator. My target audience that I primarily serve is all of the dairy producers in Nebraska, their managers, and their employees. So my ultimate goal is to be able to make them more profitable, show them some of the latest research so they can apply that research and make changes on their farm for better health of their animals, for the care they provide to their animals, profitability, at the bottom line. So, as an extension educator, I visit dairy farms on a regular basis, just to visit, but also if there are any issues with the dairy farm is seeing, such as reproduction issues, nutrition issues, milk production issues, I will go out to the farm and help them troubleshoot. Additionally, I take some of the research that we're doing at the university and that other universities are doing. I look at the information and then I develop workshops and programs for dairy producers and say, this is the latest research. Here is how you can use that information on your farm for animal health, animal well-being, efficiency of your employees, profitability, etc. Secondly, I am a communicator. So if you like communications, a role like this is just for you. With that communications, I post on various social media platforms from Instagram to Snapchat to Facebook, Twitter, any of the social media platforms. But I also have the opportunity for website development, to create newsletters, electronic newsletters. I create infographics. So a lot of the research that's out there, sometimes it's just better in infographic format where someone could spend 30 seconds looking at the information, gather all the knowledge, and implement changes on their farm. Also, a large part of communications is authoring articles. whether it's authoring articles for magazines. I might author news releases about some of the latest things that we're doing on dairy extension. I even have some international publications. So some of the articles I've authored have been published in international magazines. So that's pretty exciting on that front to be an internationally recognized author. And also on the communication, just sharing information and doing presentations at various programs, workshops, meetings for dairy producers, for my fellow dairy extension colleagues in other states. So a lot of great opportunities from the communication side. And lastly, I am a mentor. One of the programs that we have is a Dairy Ambassador program here in Nebraska. That is for any college student with an interest in dairy, from the production side on the farm to the processing side on the food science. So I'm a mentor for the ambassadors. I share with them everything we have going on in the dairy industry, but I also help them determine maybe what some of their career goals would be, or some of the career decisions. I even write letters of recommendation for jobs, for vet school, so it's really a great opportunity. So 3 things: educator, communicator, and mentor is how I would summarize my job. What kind of skills and characteristics do I need for this job? Really anything you can think of. From a leader, so there's times I need to be a leader, to a follower. There's times where I let someone else take the lead and I'm a follower, but in that follower role, I am very engaged and active. In extension, you need to have a strong work ethic. So you need to take pride in what you do. You need to be a self-starter. You need to be motivated, and you need to set your goals, fulfill those goals, and based on your work ethic. I mentioned goals. You need to be goal-oriented. One of the great opportunities that you have in extension education is you can set your own goals. So what do you want to accomplish each year? So you need to be goal-oriented. This career is very much independent, where you visualize, you understand what's happening in the environment with your target audience, and you create programs and information and communications based on their needs. You have to be trustworthy. One of the key factors of building relationships is building that trust with your clientele, and you need clientele to perform your job adequately and effectively. I've already mentioned the communication side, but you have to be adaptive. So the needs of our audiences are changing rather quickly. And so at the flip of a hat, we may need to adapt some of the programming we're doing. We need to make changes quickly, but our audience is the same. They need to be adaptable as well. These skills do not encompass all of the skills and characteristics that you need in this job. It's really just the tip of the iceberg. If I look at some of the other characteristics and skills, you need to be a partner, you need to be engaging, you need to have the knowledge and information. The biggest takeaway I'm going to say is networking, and you'll hear me say networking later on in this presentation as well. What does the salary look like? Starting salary for extension educators is right around $45,000 a year, depending on your experience and depending on the field of study, the area of extension that you are part of. So extension has anywhere from 4-H educators to beef educators, crops and water educators, horticulturalists. So anything that you can think of, we have an extension educator that covers that role. So the great part about extension, we work for the University of Nebraska. Every year we're evaluated on our performance and we receive salary increases accordingly. One thing that we do, opportunities for promotion. So typically when someone starts out in extension, you start out as a title of assistant extension educator. Based on the goals that you've met, the impact you've made within the university and communities and with your audience, you are then promoted. Once after you put together a promotion file, you are promoted to associate extension educator. And with that first promotion, you increase your salary about 7%. It's 7% minimum from your salary. 3 to 5 years after you're in your associate educator role, you can then submit another promotion to a fully promoted educator. With that promotion, you receive a 9% salary increase. So in addition to your annual increases in salary, with each promotion, you also receive an additional increase in salary. So that's a little bit about my career, but I really want to dive into the different career options within the dairy industry. As we look at the dairy industry, really anything job related pertains to dairy, from a nutritionist to a hoof trimmer to a reproduction specialist, a geneticist, sales, crop producer, forage grower, product specialist, quality assurance, animal welfare, accounting. As you can see, the list goes on and on and on. So these are just some pictures depicting some of the careers that we have within the dairy industry. You'll see a veterinarian in the top left. Veterinarians, as you know, generally start out receiving a 4-year bachelor's degree and then go on to vet school for another 4 years, maybe even longer if they wanted to specialize in a certain area of veterinarian medicine. The salary range really is very large. Veterinarians can start out around $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 annually for the practices. In the top center, I really want to point out that the dairy industry is becoming very automated. So there's milking robots that milk the cows. There's automatic calf feeders. So when a calf is hungry, the calf will walk up, an electronic ID will read their tag, and the calf will be able to drink its milk and receive some starter grain. There's also feed pushers. So there's machines that push up feed. So the dairy industry is very automated. So we need engineers, we need technicians, we need innovators in the dairy industry. We also need people to train employees. So as we look at the dairy industry, it's very much hands-on with employees. Although it's moving to the automated side, we still need that hands-on approach. Nutritionists are very important to the dairy industry. They're going to look at the feed, evaluate the feed, develop rations. But we also need people to haul manure, to grow the forages, and we need anyone that's interested in trucking to haul the milk from the farm to the processor. So a lot of career options. The salary range is anywhere from $25,000 for someone milking cows in the parlor up to maybe $250,000 for someone in sales. So a very large range in salary. And I'll just tell you, the skills needed, the characteristics needed, education needed is very dependable on what you want to choose. So someone working in the milking parlor needs to have the skills of an animal handler. They need to be calm. They need to also be motivated to ensure that they're doing the job that they're supposed to be. So that milking parlor employee might be receiving $25,000 salary, but typically dairy farms also provide them a house, maybe a cell phone. They pay their utilities on that house. So the salary might be $25,000, but there's some big benefits that come with that as well. Can you prepare for some of these careers in the dairy industry? In high school, it's great to take any of your animal science classes, your livestock production and management classes. If you're looking to go on the forages or crop side, any of your agronomy classes would be great. Overall, everyone needs to have a good foundation for science, good understanding of math. Those are all great to be focused with your career and have that solid foundation. There's more specialized classes. If you can take classes in high school that are dual credits for college, that's a great place to start as well. Last bit of advice I want to leave you as you are considering different careers is network. Network, network, network. One of my favorite authors authored the book Work Out Loud. That is where you share with others. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want to do for a career? So you want to network, let everyone know what you are doing, because your neighbor down the road might know someone, might have a relative or know someone that's involved specifically with the career you're looking at. Then you're looking at options for internships that you can do. Then you're looking at job offers after you finish college. So networking is so important. Let others know your aspirations, your goals. What do you want to do in life? So with that, just a little bit of dairy humor here. The cow's grocery list at the feed store was getting longer and longer. Cows like to eat and we feed them well. So with that, good luck with your future. I hope I can see a number of you at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln majoring in animal science. You'll find me walking the halls there teaching some classes in the future. So good luck with everything, and thanks for listening.